Hi, and thank you for watching my review of the Champ RTF radio-controlled aircraft by Hobbyzone. My son purchased this aircraft for me for my 37th birthday, and I have been just having a blast with it. The video you're watching right now is actually the third flight of this aircraft, so I still didn't have it trimmed out right. You can see it keeps going up and down and up and down. For those of you who have never flown an airplane before, trimming an airplane basically means when you first get it out of the box, it might have a tendency to turn left or right or go up or down by itself, and you want it to fly nice and straight. There's little buttons below the gimbals on the joystick or controller that you can adjust as the airplane. If the airplane keeps flying to the right, you press the left button, you click it, and then you click it again until the airplane is traveling straight. And there's lots of videos online. If you look up the Hobbyzone Champ, there's actually several instructional videos that teach you how to trim the aircraft. I recommend watching them if you're having issues with the airplane not flying straight out of the box. My aircraft did have a little bit of nose up trim out of the box, and I had to actually go in there and program it out. As you saw, now the airplane's flying nice and straight in the video. It's no longer bobbing up and down, and that's because I trimmed it out properly. I have about a year's experience flying the Blade MCX helicopter and also the Blade MSR helicopter. For those of you that don't know what those are, they're both micro helicopters. They're a little bit smaller than this airplane, and the MSR actually will go about 10 or 15 miles an hour. It's a great little outdoor heli, and it got me a lot of practice to be ready to fly the airplane. One of the big differences between the little helis and this airplane is that the helicopters can stop. This airplane, once it's going, and so you have to really know where everything is and be ready to bail, so that you don't crash into a tree or crash into a curb or anything that's around a mailbox, which happens. So as I was showing you before, we're flying in the cul-de-sac here. It's a little tight for this airplane. You really do need kind of a big flying space. So if you have a house with a backyard that doesn't have any trees, you have a nice big open backyard, this airplane is great. But if you are in a closed-in area like a straight street with lots of trees, and you live in Ohio like we do where there's lots and lots of trees, you might have a hard time flying this airplane. You probably need to find a field nearby that's a little better. You'll see in this review a little bit later we go up to our local school, and I fly there, and it's so much easier to fly up at the school because there's just room. You don't have to go in circles all the time. You can fly nice and straight. You can go way up high and see the airplane a long way off so that you're not disappearing behind the trees and trying to figure out where the airplane is. But I would recommend strongly for somebody that's just getting into this and just learning how to fly or has never flown an airplane before, you need to go to xheli.com or nitroplanes.com. They have a product made by eSky. It's a little remote controller, just like the real controller that you get with your airplane, and it connects to your computer with USB. It also comes with flight simulator software, and you might need to get a friend to help you set it up. If you've never flown an airplane before, maybe the guy at the hobby store can help you get it set up on your laptop or computer. But it's really important that you have this because you can then practice, and I practiced for probably 3 or 4 hours on this actual airplane on my simulator. I downloaded this airplane and was able to practice, and so my flying skills are much better than they would have been if I had just taken this airplane out of the box and tried to fly it.
Seems like this right there, when it lands, this cuts back into the body. I'm gonna get you put on the macro. Can you get closer, or is it out of focus?
No, it's got a real nice focus right now.
Alright, so some of the issues we have, obviously the battery pops off when you land hard. This battery did not, I'm not using the Velcro that came with it. It's a Velcro that they gave me with the battery, and it doesn't work as well as the Hobbyzone Velcro. I don't know why that is, because it looks the same, but it doesn't work the same. The body, as you can see, this is from an impact, and we'll show you the video of that here. And then you can see some of these marks. I got stuck in a tree. That's from getting stuck in the tree. This cracked when I got stuck in the tree and I had to tape it. So it is really easy to break, but it's a lot. It actually, considering it's, how light it is, it's very durable compared to a lot of the airplanes. So this airplane, you can crash, put a little bit of tape on it, and keep flying. Where some of the bigger airplanes, if you crash, they're done. So this airplane's been pretty sturdy. We've had a lot of flights and several crashes, and it's doing really well. So we love it.
I just wanted to clarify. This plane is very durable for what it is. I said it's not very durable, but actually it is. The parts are a little bit fragile, as with any kind of flying toy. You're going to have things break when you crash. And so you just have to be prepared for things to not always be perfect. Sometimes you're going to have scratches and dings and dents, and that's just how it is. Compared to other airplanes that are out there, this is a very durable airplane, and part of what makes it so durable is the fact that it weighs almost nothing. So this airplane fell 20 feet out of a tree the night before we filmed this, and all it did was wrinkle the front of the airplane a little bit. It didn't even bend the motor shaft, so it is a very durable airplane. Here in this video you can see we're flying about 500 feet away from where we're located, and this radio is supposed to go up to 2,000 feet, so it's got a pretty nice range on it. I would be a little afraid to take it that far away, but you might lose it. But it seems like I've seen videos on YouTube of people flying this really high, like really, really high. So if you're not afraid to lose the airplane to wind or lose radio reception, you can take it up as high as you want. Like I said, I'm a little bit leery to do that. I just want to keep the plane and enjoy it and keep flying it. Here's a little rough landing there for you. A word of caution about LiPo batteries. The LiPo batteries that come with this aircraft are a little bit finicky. They can catch on fire. I think with this small of a size, it's not a big deal. The bigger batteries, where you get in larger aircraft, can be a big problem. Don't run your batteries down all the way. When the motor shuts off, the airplane is telling you that the battery is low, and if you keep pushing it, you will damage the battery permanently. It will no longer charge all the way, and your flight times will be cut in half. Sometimes the battery just won't charge at all. LiPo batteries are very finicky. Make sure to read your instruction manual, at least the section about charging and discharging the battery. You don't want to kill your LiPos. They're expensive at $12 a piece, I've been through it before. I have LiPos. We've taken good care of them. I make sure to, when I start feeling that they're no longer pushing out the full energy, I just turn the airplane off. With my helicopters, the same deal. I've got batteries that are over a year old. They have over 500 charges on them, and it's not an issue. So just love on your LiPos. Take good care of them. Don't push them too hard, and make sure that you keep them charged up and don't run them too low. Here in our flight video, you're seeing about 3 to 5 mile an hour winds picking up, and then they drop down to nothing. In this video here, I'm taking the airplane and I'm actually flying it downwind, or with the wind on takeoff instead of against the wind. It's not necessarily recommended, but actually this airplane seems to take off better when it's going with the wind. So when you take off going into the wind, a lot of times the airplane wants to go nose up, and then it stalls and crashes. So we started taking off downwind, flying with the wind, and then the airplane actually seemed to do a lot better that way. So you might want to try that if you're having problems taking off and stalling and then crashing. Once again, here you can see just this airplane handles so nicely. One of the big benefits of this airplane is that for such a small aircraft, it is really able to slow down and fly really slowly. And most airplanes that are this size, when you slow them down like that, they do what's called a tip stall, and the airplane will tip over and go nose first into the ground. But this airplane really does a nice gliding job, and it can move very slowly without stalling. If you start to feel like you have to pull back on the stick to keep the nose up, then you might want to give it a little more power and pick up a little speed. But like I said, this is just a very nice, slow flight plane. I like scale flight. I'm not big into doing loops and rolls and stunts, though. That P-51 Mustang looks pretty good too. Someday I might get into that, but I really like that scale flight look. I don't like all this, crazy whipping it around, and same thing with the helicopters. You see those guys doing those crazy stunts, and to me that really holds very little interest. One of the upgrades that I may do to this aircraft in the near future, I do like to fly at nighttime, and I have been looking at a set of tiny bright lights for this airplane, and if we do that, we'll definitely put a video up of what they look like. There are some other guys who have done it. They look really cool. and it allows you to fly a little better at night. You're going to see me do a little 3D maneuver here after I'm talking about all this great scale flight stuff. I wanted to try a loop out. I was a little close to the ground. I probably shouldn't have done it, and I wasn't going fast enough. So you can see there, I went up and I stalled. I didn't make a full loop. Now it's a challenge, so I have to come back and do it again. You'll see here in a couple seconds I'm going to bring the airplane around, pick up speed, and do another loop. And this time I actually get it. I think my camera went a little bit out of focus here, but there is a full loop right there. So the airplane is 3D, but you'd never see a real Champ doing a loop like that. So it was fun, though.
Whoa!
That was cool though, I got a frontal view of it.
Oh no! We got a battery loose.
One more loop.
Nope, landing. Right to the pole. Like our standard approach. Nice approach. Right to the post. And down. Oh! Oh, battery.
One of the things that I'd like to mention about the Aeronica, or Aeronica, or however you pronounce it, Champ, it was built in 1945 and was sold for many years. You can still purchase them, though I don't think you can get them new. I think they're mostly, obviously, all used at this point. It is not a Piper Cub. I see some guys out there trying to make Piper Cub modifications to them, like putting engine blocks on the side like a Piper Cub. Maybe not knowing that it is actually a different aircraft. It looks very similar to the Piper Cub, and it was a direct competitor, but it is made by a different company, and it does not have engine protrusions on the sides. It is a closed cowl aircraft, like a Cessna, so it's a little bit different. But it does look very much like a Piper Cub, but it is different. And the paint scheme that you see on it is one of the factory paint schemes that you could actually purchase from Aeronica or Aeronica, or however you pronounce it. Anyway, this has been just a wonderful airplane. I look forward to flying it every day. I'm probably going to buy 2 more batteries. There's a little crosswind takeoff for you. I don't know if you saw it wobble there, but it's a tough takeoff to do because the airplane wants to tip over. But anyway, I'm going to buy probably 2 more batteries, and I think mostly the flying that I'm going to be doing is up at the park. It just makes more sense to go up there. There's a lot more freedom there, and there's a lot less chance of damaging the aircraft, really. The bottom line is if you're flying and you're in a small yard or in a cul-de-sac like where my house is located with lots of trees and obstacles, you're most likely going to crash. And when you have a nice open field, even the crashes are a little bit gentler because you're just landing on grass rather than crashing into an obstacle. Now you can see here on the runway that one time I almost hit the post. There's another post at the other end. I wish they would kind of take those out because it looks like they're just derelict at this point and the school's not using them, but whatever. You got to deal with the situations that are at hand. But in general, if you find a nice open space with a little bit of cement to land on, you should have a good time flying this airplane, and it really does land itself pretty much. You can see I have a tendency to kind of bobble it and nose down and kind of dip the airplane into the ground, and that's not a good thing. I'm really working on, I think right here's a nice, no, that's a bad one too. There's a couple good landings on this video where I actually was able to flare out and let the aircraft just kind of drift down to the ground. So anyway, enjoy the rest of the video. Thank you for watching. I would highly recommend this airplane. Once again, it's only $89 for the whole set, so you really can't beat the price. And it's a good size for people learning, and it's a very sturdy airplane for what it is. Enjoy it. Oh, and one more thing. If you do wreck the airplane so bad that you have to buy a new body part, the parts are very inexpensive. You can buy the entire body frame for $11. I think the wing is like $11 or $12, and then the rear the tail and the ailerons are like $6 or $7. So really, the parts are very cheap for this airplane. So go out there, enjoy flying, and have a nice day. Thanks for watching.